I don't know. After hearing him calm and talking about the tether story, it's probable.
Go down to the county attorney's office. I think you'll find a lot of humans down there.
All right.
No disrespect.
Stop driving.
I'm flirting with the judge in front of my dad.
Probation. What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? Happy Friday night. Friday, we made it. All right. See, what do I got tonight for us? A lot of Judge Middleton. I haven't played any Judge Middleton this week, and my Judge Middleton queue was backing up, so I just decided, you know what? Let's just play all the Judge Middleton that I have from this week, or the best ones I have from him. So got 3 Judge Middleton clips, and then we finish up with the follow-up of the contempt hearings from Judge King from yesterday. That's at the very end of the video. So anyone who's watching this later who wants to watch that, it's at the end. All right. How's everybody doing? I see a lot of people in the chat already. Hello. Mary, Jedi, Michelle, Kelly. I saw Johnny, Nancy, Phil. Welcome. Chris, Bob, Pete. All right. I don't want to read through it because every time I go all the way to the top and come back down, I miss people. So everyone I missed, Lane, welcome everybody, Legal Fiction. Hope everyone's good. Let's get the Friday night started. All right, let's go Middleton. But before I hit that play button, you already know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button and do your jump kick backflips. What's up, the beans? Like your name. All right, let's go.
You've got your camera off. Do you have your sound on? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
All right. Well, can you hear me? Are you Robert Marker?
Yes, I am.
All right. Well, we'll have to do the best we can. You can't see me?
No.
Well, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I look really good, so I'm sorry that you can't hear me or see me, but we'll.
There we go. Now I can see you.
All right. Well, this is a landlord-tenant case. It's a termination of tenancy. Your landlord wants you to move.
Yeah, you definitely made a new word, but I like it. Thanks for becoming a member, though. Appreciate it.
And they are here with me in the courtroom, as is Mr. Tim George, who's representing Sunnyland Properties. This is a property at 221 North Prospect. And I sent you this in the mail, but I'm going to read it to you. As a defendant in a landlord-tenant proceeding, including termination of tenancy, you have the following legal rights. You have the right to hire an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court will give you information about trying to get assistance from legal aid or other agency. A representative from legal aid is here on the feed with us. You have the right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County, where the property is. You have the right to demand a jury trial. If you want a jury trial, you must tell the court here today or make the motion in writing within 5 days. And there's a $50 fee for a jury demand. And you can use the form MC22 that we can provide you with.
Nancy, thank you so much for your 1 month. That you must have done that before I jumped on. I just saw that I had the little starred with the 1 next to it. But thank you so much. And I'm glad you love it here. I love it here too.
We've wasted so much time. Our next person is here, so we're going to bring her in also. Are you Kelly Tobias?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'll be with you in a minute.
Okay.
But Ms. Tobias, you have the same rights as the first defendant. You have a right to hire an attorney. If you cannot pay for one, we can give you information about legal aid and how to try to obtain help from them. You have the right to have your case heard here in St. Joseph County. You have a right to demand a jury trial if you wish, but if you do so, you have to do it today or within 5 days of today and file a written demand with a $50 jury demand fee, or you can request a waiver of the fee from the court if you're unable to pay it. In Mr. Marker's case, they've asked him to move, terminate the tenancy. In Mr. Bias's case, they've asked you to pay the rent or move. If your landlord has asked you to be evicted because you haven't paid the rent, you may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, a local coordinated entry agency, and I don't know if we even have one of those, a housing assessment and resource agency in our county that is called Neighborhood Inc., and a federal help for homeless veterans. If you are a veteran, they have some assistance programs. And we sent that information to you with the summons.
Yeah.
You do not need a judgment against you to receive help from the places listed above. A copy of the summons and complaint from your case are sufficient. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through mediation. If both parties are agreeable, the court can refer the matter to Citizens Mediation, Inc. and help facilitate that. If you do.
That's a great question. Well, Judge Middleton's reading through all the rights that we've heard 1,000 times. That's a great question. My answer would be it would depend on what the charge is. If it's a serious charge where I don't want to sit, yeah, if it's where I'm looking, at real time in jail, or prison, I would ask for a jury. If it was just a misdemeanor type thing where small charge with that, some facts could be different, I would probably say judge. But like I said, every situation is different. I didn't say that, but now I'm saying it. Every situation is different. Depends what the charges are. I would strongly listen to my attorney in that situation, though.
Reach an agreement with the landlord, that means the case would be dismissed. We would use a form called a conditional dismissal order, and I would provide you with that form if we need to do that. So, Mr. Marker, your landlord wants you to move. They served a notice to quit on you on November the 1st.
Where'd it go?
Asking you to move by December 1st. You did not move, so they filed this action. What's your position here? Mr. Marker? Mr. Marker?
Well, we're trying to get Mr. Marker back on the phone. No. A consent judgment would be when the tenant and the landlord come into an agreement to, I'll have all this back rent paid by this date. And if it's paid, then, it's the judgment satisfied. A conditional dismissal generally means the tenant paid for the rent before the hearing date. That's just my guess. I'm not an attorney, but I think I'm at least half right on that. Yeah, I actually have no idea. I think so.
No, he's gone altogether. He's back. Mr. Marker?
My phone keeps on going in and out.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. Your landlord wants you to move. What do you say to that?
I ain't got nowhere to go. I told him that once I get my taxes, I'm gonna catch him up.
Well, he's not asking you to pay the rent. He's asking you to move. I'm going to continue this
I ain't got nowhere to
matter.
go. I ain't got nowhere to go.
Well, that isn't a defense. The landlord doesn't have to let you stay there without paying rent. He wants to terminate your tenancy. So I'm going to continue. So you should try to find a place to go. I would recommend that you contact Department of DHS or Neighborhood Inc. Have you tried to get any emergency help? Well, it doesn't matter because they're asking you to move. So you should be contacting Keystone Place. I'm going to set this live at the courthouse. You need to be here in person. I'm not going to do this where I can't see you. So you need to be here next Friday, January 19th. Mr. George, you can appear by Zoom, but we're going to set it for 8:35. Now, Mr. Marker, if they get what they ask for, you would have 10 days from January 19th to move out or be subject to being evicted. That would be where the sheriff comes and puts your stuff out on the street. So I don't know what to say. They've been trying to get you to move since October or so. Mr. George,
Well, I ain't got nowhere to fucking go.
All right, well, the sheriff will put you on the street and you'll be standing there with your.
He's not touching my stuff.
What?
Nobody's touching my stuff.
All right, well.
Well, you gotta kick me and my son out on the street.
Yes.
That's fucked up.
Well, perhaps.
No, yeah,
when did he
perhaps.
last pay any rent?
It's 19 weeks behind as of this hearing.
Yes, Mr. Marker, the private landlord is not compelled to provide housing without getting their rent. But at this point, they just want you to
give him money, but you don't give me no receipts.
All right, well, we're not asking for money. We're just asking you to move. So I want you to be here next Friday morning, live and in person. I'm not doing this with a bad signal that you tried to get in 1 second before we started. So you come here to the courthouse next Friday morning at 8:35, and we will discuss the matter further at that time. All right, I'll see you then.
Thank you, Your Honor.
If they get what they asked for, you would have till January 29th to move. All right, I'll see you next Friday morning.
Thank you, sir.
That went pretty well. And if he curses here live, he'll have some consequence.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
All right, that was fun. So that's next Friday. This next hearing is another landlord tenant case from Middleton today, and the follow-up is also next Friday. So next Friday is going to be fun. Biggin, what's up? Oh, man. From your live to my live, it's a huge difference of energy. It's completely different tonight. Also, Bob, I saw your question about when did the CC start. The closed captions are different for every court you watch. Some courts have it on, some don't, but they are required to have it on their side for me to be able to have it on my side. Is how I understand it. Because I have it on all the time because I am half deaf. For those of you that don't know, I have to wear headphones all the time. Otherwise, I don't know what's going on. So I always have my closed captioning on, but it's not in every court. And if it's not on their side and it's on my side, it doesn't come up. If someone has a better solution to that, I would be more than happy to hear it. But that's how I understand it works. All right. Next one. Let's go.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning.
Are you
Sorry
Steve
about that.
Larson?
I am.
All right. It's a privilege to be able to do this by Zoom. We've been sitting here for 7 minutes waiting for you to show up. If you'd rather, we could have you come live and in person and appear. But we'll take up our issue here this morning. Ms. Chafee's been waiting here with me, and we have Meg Bauer from Legal Aid.
Fred, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Welcome to the 5 new members. I can't see it on this side. I should probably start watching my stream on my phone just so I can see things that I can't backstage. But, that's another day. But thank you, Fred. I appreciate it.
This is filed as a demand for non-payment of rent. And then there are some other issues, and there is a money judgment request. So, Mr. Larson, what is just the rent component through January?
Let me, it was through January, 2520 was due. Through September. That was filed on January 1st. So 2520 plus 915 is
This
34.
isn't a surprise question. I'm going to ask you this every time. How much does your tenant owe? And our numbers don't quite match up here. So let me take a look at this.
$34.35 through January.
And then I did make a partial payment.
All right, well, hold it. All right, rent is $915. And at the time of filing, it was $25.20. And that was through September 30th. So we would need to include October, November, December, and January. Then you're also asking for rent at $11.65 per month, but rent is only $915 per month. So if that's accurate, that the rent on paid through September 30th was $25.20, she would owe 4 additional months. What's your position, Ms. Chafee?
I did make a partial payment in October. I had lost my job.
All right,
And
okay, so let's figure this figure. 2520, 915 times 4 times 4 is, oops, 3660.
Correct.
Plus 2520.
Are you asking for a friend, Mike? I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. I got the quote Seinfeld. Yay. Also, Nina, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it. I can't see what the super sticker is on this side. All it says is super sticker. So I imagine it's something really cool. And thank you so much. All right.
Equals 6,180. Now, you indicated you'd made a payment in October.
yes, I made a $400, I believe it was $400 payment in October for October's rent.
All right. That would equal 5780.
And
Now, just a minute. The filing fee is $53.51. And the service fee is $143. It's not $196.51. If we add that to 5780, total amount due is $5,976.51 through January. All right, just a moment. Just a
will you
moment.
repeat that number?
Okay. Through September, rent is $25.20. If we add October, November, December, and January, That's an
I need-
additional,
I need clarification on that 2,000 for September. That you're,
I don't know,
Stating.
that's what's in the pleadings. He alleged that through September, the arrearage was 2520. I'm not telling you this is accurate. I'm just telling you that's what was pled.
well,
Sir,
So, yes,
I apologize if there's miscommunication. To be absolutely clear, rent is $9.15 per month.
yes,
So if you take October, November, December, January, you take your $9.15 times 4,
yes, I did.
and then you add
That's-
the filing fee of $143, was it?
Yes, slow down. I'm trying to go through the numbers. She's challenging your first number, 2520 through September. But that's what you allege is due,
That was due.
2520.
I believe, sir, that was through December when it was filed, and then I added how much was due for January on
No,
number
the
5.
summons and complaint that you filed
Mhm.
on December 2nd is all over the place. It says you owe $1,530 rent. That was on your November 20th filing. But the actual summons and complaint
Mhm.
says that rent is $915 per month. Rent is paid through September 30th. And the total arrearage at that time was $2,520. That's what you told the court in a sworn document. So if we go October, November, December, and January, that's an additional $3660. She claims she paid $400 in October, so I deducted $400 from that, and I came up with $5,780.
I believe that
Filing
is
fee.
incorrect.
All right, well, what is the current arrearage? Mr. Varchetti, I apologize, we're late. Somebody showed up late and we got a late start, so we'll finish this matter and then we'll address yours. So I beg your indulgence.
Not a problem, Judge. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Larson.
They are in St. Joseph County, Michigan. At least that's where this courthouse is. Now, Judge Middleton handles a lot of the surrounding areas, but it's kind of the middle of nowhere, Michigan, from how I understand it. From how, you know what, I'm just going to stop there. Yeah. So if you want cheaper rent, you can always go hang out with Middleton all day. I would actually do that. Let's all do it together. It'd be fun. Oh, I had one more thing I wanted to say, and I don't remember what it was. All right, well, let's go. Oh, yeah. The first case was a tenant acting poorly in court. This one's a landlord. It started a little slow, but it's about to get fun.
How much is due?
Be $915 times 4 months. That comes
All
up
right.
to $3660.
So you're just asking for October, November, December, and January?
Correct. She paid $400 in October, so subtract $400.
All right. So that would be $3,260.
Correct.
All right, you accept that?
I
Well, that's
do.
Thank you.
substantial. All right. And then we add 196.51. Is 3,456.51 through January.
Correct.
Now, Ms. Chafee advised us that she's willing to try to pay the rent or try to get some emergency assistance, but you've advised her that you wish to not renew the lease on January 31st. Is that correct?
That's correct. I have some new tenants that would like to move in on February 1st. That's the expiration of the 12-month lease.
All right. Well, if she pays the rent, they can't move in on February 1st.
She does. They just actually had a jury trial a few days ago. I started to grab it, but it lasted about 4 hours, and I didn't want to do it. It was a DUI jury trial, and I wanted to have it just because I've never seen Judge Middleton do a jury trial, and Debbie Davis was there as the prosecutor, so it was fun to watch them, but it wasn't exciting, if you know what I mean.
Her tenancy would continue as a month-to-month tenancy after that. The
Really?
law requires, so there's no sense for her to try to get emergency financial assistance and pay your rent if you're just gonna serve a new notice to quit on her on February 1st. Now, if she pays the rent and you want her to move, you have to start over again on February 1st with a termination of tenancy case, which would take several months. So if you have tenants ready to move in on February 1st, there could be substantial issues regarding that. Ms. Chafee, as you advised, he wants you to move. Have you made any provision to move?
Yes, I have.
All right.
I started moving out, but I'm not completely done because I needed to see what the outcome was.
All right. Well, the outcome is he's gonna, now if you move out by February 1st, I guess that takes care of things as far as the new tenant goes. It doesn't take care of the money. The law
Right, and
requires
that's
that I
my concern.
continue, the law requires that I continue this matter for 7 days. Mr. Larson, if you can show up on time, you can do it by Zoom. Otherwise, I want you to be here live. So if we set this for next Friday,
I will be on time.
all right.
I kind of thought that too. Judge Middleton, well, you know what? I think he's about to explain it if he didn't. I was reading chat, so I don't know. Let me play it for a little bit longer because I think Judge Middleton actually explains this. Because the landlord's about to say some dumb things and gets himself in trouble with Judge Middleton.
We'll set it for 10:15 for Friday, January 19th.
And so should I try to get assistance for the
No,
amount
I think
due?
you should plan to move. They're
But what
probably
about
not
the
gonna,
debt though?
what's that?
I didn't want the debt on my record though.
Well, you'll still owe the money at some point, and he could go after you for money damages. So if you can get some emergency help, but it's unlikely they're gonna give you this emergency help if they
Right.
know he's gonna want you to. Now, if they give you the help and you pay the rent through January, you're good. Then you pay February's rent, and you have a month-to-month tenancy. If you move prior to that date, you need to turn in your keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving. And then if you do move, now when we appear on January 19th, which is next Friday, I would give you 10 days from that day to move, or you would be subject to being evicted. So you'd have to be out by January 29th. If you pay the rent, then you get to stay there. And then he's got a problem with his new tenant because he's going to have to start a new action to terminate your tenancy. But if you move, he could pursue a money judgment against you to collect the debt, which puts you in a
Right.
difficult position. If you got
Right.
emergency assistance, someone would help pay the rent.
Right.
Now here's a further complication. If you do apply for emergency assistance, you may be
Yeah.
eligible for a 14-day additional adjournment, which would take us into February.
I have
So-
applied.
All right. Well, we'll address that further next Friday at 10:15 a.m.
Okay.
Judge, you said there is a request for a money judgment in this case.
There is.
Okay.
The numbers didn't match, so we've got these numbers now, which you can share with the people you're trying to get assistance from. Who have you applied at? DHS?
Yep, and I've contacted the neighborhood program and
Alright,
I meet
very
with them
good.
next Tuesday.
Well, you share this information with them. We'll address this next Friday. Mr. Larson, your new tenant may be left hanging in the lurch. You want her to move and you also want her to pay the money. So if she does move, she's not eligible for any emergency assistance. She's going to owe you almost $3,500. If she stays and asks for emergency help, you get money and she gets to stay. And then you would have to move to terminate her tenancy, which could take several months. So if your new people are ready to move on February 1st, you may want to have a discussion with them or a discussion with Ms. Chafee about somehow compromising some of this debt. But it puts her in a terrible position that she has to move and not eligible for any assistance. So we will address this further next Friday at 10:15.
Hey, sir.
All right.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I have a signed lease agreement that her lease expires January 31st, 2024.
Yes.
So why would she get to stay past January 31st?
Boy, are you in clueless land. If you're
Yeah.
going to be a landlord, you better get some legal assistance. It doesn't mean once a lease expires, you can just kick them out. Once the lease expires, it becomes a month-to-month tenancy.
Okay.
And you need some legal help because you're in over your head. And anyway, the answer is just because it expires, you can't then kick her out. You have to move to terminate the tenancy for the expiration of the lease. And
She said she was going to move out.
how many properties do you own?
2, sir, and she said she was going to move out by the end of the month. She said that several times. So I've been scheduling some viewings of the property. She allowed me to show the property to 3 candidates, and she told me her forwarding address.
All right,
And
well,
she-
let me explain this again. What you're doing screws her. You've asked her to pay the rent. She would be eligible for emergency financial assistance, which would pay your rent. And then she would be able to stay there. Instead, you want her to just move, forego the chance to get some help paying the rent. She moves, she owes you $3,500. And she doesn't have the chance to ask for somebody else to pay it. So it works good for you, but doesn't work very good for her.
Okay.
We'll address all of these issues further next Friday at 10:15. All right, we're all backed up. I've got a number of other people waiting, so we'll have more time next Friday. All right, we're good to go.
All right, Logan. You know, if you say don't pull me up, I'm gonna pull your comment up. Just saying. You already knew that, though. Josie, thank you so much for becoming a new member. I very much appreciate it. Welcome to the community. Yeah, I know that one was a long case to get to, the fun part, but sometimes you just gotta deal with the slow burns to get the excitement at the end. All right, this next one is not a landlord tenant case. It involves our favorite type of person. Stop driving. All right, this is my last Middleton clip, and then we'll go to Judge King though. This is a little bit longer. All right, let's go.
Several cases are People versus Stewart Allen Udvardy. And file 232006, he's charged with having no valid insurance. That's a SM county prosecutor.
Yeah, Mindy, I don't know. My CC is turned on it's a default setting, so I always have it turned on, and it's not always on. So that's the only answer I have to why CC is on sometimes and not others. That's all I got. Again, if someone knows a good way for me to always have it on so we can always see it, please let me know, because I use it.
State statute.
See, look at this one.
In
It's not on
file
this. In this case.
232007OT, he's charged with an ordinance of driving suspended and a civil infraction of speeding. Mr. George indicated on his way out the door that he would dismiss the speeding and accept a plea to no valid operator's license in the driving suspended case. Mr. Johnson has the state statute case, which is a 1-year misdemeanor. Mr. Johnson, what's the status here as far as you know?
Your Honor, the people offered defendant admit to no proof of insurance, and we would dismiss the no insurance.
All right, Mr. Udvardy, let's break this down. You got 3 total charges. One is having no insurance under the insurance code. That is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to a year in jail. Fine of not less than $200 and not more than $500 requires that you have your fingerprints taken. Prosecutor Johnson has agreed to dismiss that for a plea to no proof of insurance, and you just showed him something. So I'm assuming you've established that you have proof on the insurance on the vehicle now. So no proof of insurance. No insurance means you didn't have any. It's a 1-year misdemeanor. No proof of insurance means you didn't have the little slip in the car. That's a civil infraction, and it's punishable by a fine only. The fine is $156, I believe. Do you understand that charge?
Yes.
And are you going to plead to no proof of insurance?
Yeah.
On that day, which was
(10/16/23).
10/16/23, yes. Did you not have the insurance slip in the car?
No, I didn't.
Are you still working
Yeah.
at Metal Technologies?
Yeah, I took a vacation day today.
Well, I'm sorry to take the whole day off, but you have 30 days to pay this, which is before February 16. I'll give a few extra days. That's the no insurance. Let's talk about the ordinance cases from the same day. They allege that on that particular day, your license was suspended. Driving suspended is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Carries 2 points and requires that your license be suspended. The prosecutor has agreed to reduce that to a charge of no valid operator's license. That's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. Does not require a suspension, and agrees to dismiss the speeding charge, which would save you $90. You understand? Are you gonna plead to driving with no valid ops?
Yes.
Feels like a good time to pause. Robert from Cologne in Germany, the best smelling Robert in Germany. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I very much appreciate it. If anybody hasn't liked already, please do so. I would very much appreciate that as well. All right. This is when this case gets good. Judge Middleton's known for his slow burns, and this one's about to get good. I'm not going to say it's about to go down yet, because I feel like we still have about 5 minutes before that.
All right, you understand that if you do plead to that misdemeanor charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury. There will be no trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have an attorney to assist you with it.
Yeah.
Mr. Gibson has been appointed. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wished. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf. But you don't have to, because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury could not hold your silence against you. And you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand?
Yep.
Were you driving a car on that day, October 16th?
Yeah.
And did you not have a valid license at that time? Correct?
Yes.
All right, well, you got put on probation back in December of you got put on probation, then you got discharged successfully, but you were still paying on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you made a payment in December of $300, and then you made another payment just the other day of $200. So that's just about paid off.
How much do I have left on it?
I can't, let's see what I can tell you. It was $475. Then you paid $300, which left $175. Then you paid $200. That might be paid off.
Oh.
We'll confirm that before you leave. Now you got a new fine of $156 and this one. How'd you get here today?
I got a ride from a friend. I'm not, I'm,
All right, where's that person?
they had something else to do, so I gotta wait for him.
All right. Who is it?
My buddy, my buddy I knew from work, he just recently switched to third shift.
What's his name?
Uh,
Let's go look at the video.
It's at this point he realizes he done messed up. Yeah, let's watch that video. That's the one thing you don't do. Don't lie to Judge Middleton. You don't tell him you didn't drive when you drove. Because this is why you need to watch the judge on YouTube if he has a YouTube channel before you go in. He's going to check. Yeah.
I suspect if I went out and walked up down the street, I'd find your Ford Fusion parked somewhere on the street outside the courthouse. Is your car parked out here in Centerville?
No,
Is it in the parking lot?
no,
Is it on one of the side streets?
mm-mm.
Well, I guess I'll go look for it. Depends on whether you're going to jail or not right now, if you tell me where your car is. But obviously, you're not telling me the truth. Maybe it's at the Shell station. All right, have a seat. We'll figure out where your car is.
I just don't
Where?
wanna go to jail.
Well, what are you driving to court for? I keep yelling at you. It's like talking to a brick wall, and then you're
I had no
a
other way.
terrible liar.
I had no other way to get.
Where
to
is your
work.
car?
It's across the street. I can call someone and have them pick me up.
You don't get it. They cut you up 2
I
breaks.
know.
You
I know.
come in here, you're early. I thought, hell, I hope he didn't drive here. And of course you did. And then you lied about it. People are getting hip to pulling in the parking lot because it's on video. So they start parking behind the stores, at the Shell station somewhere off camera. And then we go find it. It's down the street. He didn't drop him off. He drove himself here.
He's parked behind the bank then.
Yes. Let's do a little history lesson here.
Stop driving. Uh-oh. Doing a little history lesson. Did you see this kid's body language over the last 5 minutes when he noticed he was caught in a lie? Judge Middleton picked up on it. He turned into one of those kids. He's trying to hide. I feel like he even tried to put his hood up at one time. Not a good look, man. First off, don't lie to the judge. Second off, if you can't lie, don't do it. Don't do it anyways. But if you're really bad at it, why Why are the worst liars the people that do it the most? That's the question I should ask. That is the question.
"2017, you get a MIP, which didn't affect your license, but then a defective equipment. Then you got your license suspended. August 19th of 2017, you got a driving suspended. You were driving to work in Indiana, so you've been suspended since 2017. You pled to that, and then that started your problems. 2018, driving while license suspended, September 6th of 2018. You were working at Lozier at that time. You pled to that. So that's 2 driving suspendeds. "2020, while your license is still suspended, you get that very foolish fleeing and looting where you took off. And you ended up with a felony conviction for fleeing and looting and 2 counts of resisting and obstructing. An open intox. Then, last year, that's the retail fraud. You had a previous no insurance. Operating while intoxicated. Minor BAC second offense. Open intox. No insurance. And your license was suspended at that time. That was last May. Then you get this charge, no insurance, and driving suspended for the 5th time, and you drive to court. I suspect you drive to work every day. I think I'll take your car and run it through a crusher machine and give it to you about this big, and you could put it on your mantle and stop driving a damn car. What do you make an hour? About $25 an hour?
21.
Well, I'm serious. I suspect you drive to work every day.
No, I haven't been.
You shouldn't even have a car. You don't have a license. You haven't had a license for 7 years. Go ahead. You want to say something?
I have.
Well, you had that dumb case where you took off and then you got charged with felony fleeing and looting.
I had gotten my license back and just keep fucking up.
Yes. Well, this don't help. Who's gonna come pick you up?
I'm gonna call my buddy.
Well, you go make a phone call and you're gonna sit here till I eyeball this guy that's gonna drive you home. Problem is, I don't want to make Mr. Gibson sit here all afternoon while I wait for your friend to show up. You need 2 people.
Well, I have a hearing at 3 upstairs, so I'll still be around for a while.
All right. Why don't you go call your friend and then we'll deal with this.
Metal detector, make sure they're gonna use
Just take this.
All right. Yep. That was fun, right? Stop driving. You shouldn't even have a damn car. When Judge Middleton's cursing at you, it's bad. I did try to skim through the end of the docket. Was waiting to hope that I saw if he got picked up or not. It might have been there. There was still about an hour, and I don't think he had a case. No, I think he had 1 case, but I was skipping through it, Just trying to see, and I couldn't find it. I didn't watch the entire thing though. So if it happened really quick where this guy had a ride come pick him up and he walked in front of Judge Middleton, or it happened off camera. I don't know. All right, that's it for Middleton. Now we're going to go to the conclusion of the contempt hearing from Judge King from yesterday. Yes. If you guys don't remember that, the fight in the hallway. Actually, I don't even have to recap it because Judge King actually recaps it to an attorney that came in to defend. All right, let's go.
We have the prisoners. They typically get here by 10 o'clock.
Okay, I'll be back down at 10.
Okay, see you.
Is there a file associated with what?
I can give you a rundown as to what happened.
Yes.
So yesterday I had a preliminary examination on homicide. Which one does she represent? Okay, so that's the mom.
Okay.
So, facts, we had a guy who was allegedly beating up his girlfriend. Girlfriend calls her family and friends to come. They ride up on him, they see him still hitting her. They get out, they jump on one of the friends of the family member, pulls a gun or gets a gun, fires a single shot, hits him in the arm, kills him. Your client is the victim's mother. Came in yesterday, she sat for the preliminary examination. She watched a young lady testify, young lady called her family and so forth. And then afterwards, there was a huge disturbance in the hall. Lots of yelling, screaming, cussing, trying to get at each other. I got off the bench, I went in the hallway and observed it myself. Took custody, girlfriend and mother's your client.
Okay, Veronica, what was your last name? Johnson?
Yeah, Buki Johnson.
Okay, thank you. I'll be back down at 10.
All right. Has been locked for the court on contempt of court. Parents for the record, please.
Your Honor, Shelley, number 6024.
Good morning, Your Honor. Evan Callahan, 83056 on behalf of the defendant who stands to my left.
Your name for the record?
Johnson Watkins.
All right, so yesterday, court took Ms. Lockett into custody because of the disturbance that she took part in yesterday while this court was in session conducting its business. Ms. Lockett was a witness in the preliminary examination that I was doing just before that. There was a disturbance in the hallway. The court got off the bench and went to the hallway and observed for myself Ms. Lockett, as well as Ms. Nyadupi Johnson, engaging in some kind of verbal altercation. It's kind of hard to calm Ms. Lockett down. In fact, she was giving my court officer a little bit of business as well. That type of behavior will not be tolerated down there whatsoever. Well, where you think you are. I have a zero tolerance for that. Mr. Callahan?
Judge, the defendant would admit that the behavior was out of line. I don't believe this will ever happen again.
No gets a pause. Welcome, no. Good to see you, buddy. Ever since Judge Santo has gone away, sadly, no has I think he just sleeps all day. He doesn't come hang out with us anymore. Jokes aside, no, it's really good to see you, buddy.
Very never been in trouble.
Ms. Lockett, what do you have to say?
I apologize for what I actually was doing. I did control. I got attacked. I opened up the door to go to the bathroom as the prosecutor was coming in, and she called me. The lady that was locked up right now is not the woman I was arguing. It was her daughter. She called me out my name and she started putting her hands in my face when I was about to go to the bathroom. That's how the incident started. I opened up the door. The prosecutor was about to come in there and talk to me. And I was about to go to the bathroom. But as I was walking up to go to the bathroom, the girl and the prosecutor was standing right there. And she called me out my name and she started putting her hands like up and stuff like that. And I basically just told her, like, I have papers for what happened.
I wish I had known that yesterday.
I tried to tell her at the bit, you told me not to talk. I tried to say something, you told me not to talk.
I guess I was going to what the prosecutor told me. The prosecutor told me that it was her mother who came to the door.
No, sir, it was a light-skinned lady that was sitting right there and she was mugging me the whole time I was on stage.
The court is not going to hold you to or to dismiss it. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so we got one of them. He's choosing not to hold her get that. See, I don't. It's still legal verbiage. I don't understand. He held both of these women in contempt yesterday, and now he's saying he's not holding them in contempt. So obviously they were held in contempt because they spent a night in jail. So the legal verbiage is weird. I'm guessing they're not charged with anything. So yeah, one night in jail. Just that's a good way to shake some people straight, I guess. Anyways. I'm out after this. This is another like 4-minute clip with this woman, so I'm just gonna let it ride out. Just gonna let it play out, and we're gonna go. Miss Mandy, welcome. Good to see you, Miss Mandy. We're going to raid, I think, KCC. I gotta go check because I just looked about 10 minutes ago, and she was the only one streaming. I'm gonna go look and see who else we can share the love with. If someone else is streaming, we'll jump there. I don't know. It'll be a surprise to all of us. It all depends on who's live. All right. But if you haven't done, if you haven't liked and subscribed already, please do so. If you haven't done your jump kick backflips, please do so. And as always, until next time, bye.
Calling case 24000001, People versus Veronica Nyabuki Johnson. Here on the contempt of court. Here, so record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Shelley Tracy, number 6024. Is the court attorney Sharon Jones to advise Governor Moment 3? Yeah.
All right, so this, say your name for me.
Veronica Johnson, Anya Bulike.
Anya Bulike.
Yeah.
Johnson, Anya Bulike, is before the court on contempt of court based on her actions yesterday. There was a disturbance in the hallway after this court did a preliminary examination of homicide, and I understand that this complaining witness is the defendant's son. Although I completely understand, you have my condolences for your loss. However, that kind of foolishness will not be tolerated down here. I don't know where you think you are. That caused me to get off the bench and come in the hallway where I saw you acting a complete fool, you and others. Now, I talked to the other young lady who was before the court this morning, and she indicated that it was not you who started the matter, that it was actually your daughter. So you can thank your daughter for having you spend the night in jail, because I came out and what I saw was you clowning and acting a fool out there. Ms. Jones?
Your Honor, thank you. I did explain to her that she's charged with contempt under, I believe, NCL 600.171. She is very remorseful about her behavior. She wanted to explain to the court that she was given so much surprising information, and she didn't. That was not her intention to cause a ruckus. The court, she did. She just reacted to the force of her emotions and also learned that she needed that she started her grandmother and her deceased son and
Anything you'd like to tell?
All right. I waited till she was finished so I could announce Craig's super chat. Craig, that's amazing. That's very generous of you. Happy Friday to you as well. Also, Craig, you dropped a very generous super chat in my first video when I was remonetized, but it was right at the end and I missed it. So thank you so much for that super chat. I've been waiting to see your name so I could thank you for that one, and then you just dropped this one. You're a legend, man. I appreciate it. And also, Artie is still live, so we're gonna jump to Artie. I love KCC. She has a great channel, but I rate her a lot, and I like spreading the love. So we're gonna go check out Artie tonight. So Artie's Corporate Fiction. If you're not subscribed to him, he has a really good channel. All right, now I'm out. No more super chats. Okay, I'm not gonna say that because they make me happy. But please, let's go. I don't want to pause it again. So let's go hang out with Artie. Now, until next time. Bye.
Don't step to the microphone, sorry.
Your Honor, I apologize. I was in a place, I was shocked. I was having a private conversation. We thought someone was in the courtroom Friday because of a lot of noise. Eventually, I looked over and I saw that the girl that I was talking to the prosecution was in their room, and I didn't know she was here. She could hear everything. I was shocked, and I kept asking, "Why is she here? Why?" And you heard my loud mouth because I'm loud and I'm sorry. And it escalated, and you see, I'm sorry. I would not disrespect any courthouse, but at that time, it wasn't because I was in Detroit. The way my mind was, it could have happened anywhere. I was shocked, and I apologize for being disrespectful and interfering with the court. I didn't mean for that to happen.
Well, let me say this. I completely understand where you're coming from. I can't imagine what it's like to lose a child, especially in the manner that you lost your child. I understand, and I sympathize with you. Believe me, I do. But I also understand that although I can't condone what you did, I understand it. And if I had lost my child, I would probably do something similar to what you did, or maybe even worse. But I also understand that there's consequences for my actions. And so after I did what I did, I would extend my arms out and expect those handcuffs to be slapped on me, and I'll go in the back. Understanding that there is consequences for my actions. I, in no way, form, or fashion, wanted to put me in jail yesterday. That is not what we're about. We don't believe in victimizing you again. We've already been victimized by losing something. Cause you that kind of pain and anguish. But at the same time, that behavior that was scripted that took place yesterday is unacceptable. It's scary enough for people to come down here. Can you imagine you're here on a homicide as a witness, and you don't want to be here, and you see people outside wanting to fight each other and so forth like that. It's already traumatizing to come down. It's traumatizing to you. You know that.
Yes, sir.
So I was forced to do what I had to do. Or it's not unfortunate. And my condolences.
Thank you. And I apologize. Thank you, sir.
All right.